Most people underestimate how powerful a pension really is. And without a clear strategy, that pension can turn into missed opportunities, bad tax decisions, and even regret. The truth is, a pension can be the single most important piece of your retirement plan, but only if you know how to use it. Here's the mistake I see all the time. People treat their pension, their 401k, and their Social Security like three separate silos, but in reality, they're part of the same system. Looking at them in isolation leads to confusion, unnecessary risk, and decisions that can cost you for the rest of your life. Hi, I'm Ben Lockery, a certified financial planner with over a decade of experience in the investment world. Before launching Lock Wealth, I spent 10 years at Capital Group and Invesco, two of the largest investment managers in the world. These are the firms that design the mutual funds and ETFs sitting in many of your portfolios. Having been inside that process, I know what truly drives performance, cost, and risk. That's why I focus on what's beneath the surface so you can make smarter, better informed decisions with your money. And just to be clear, this is purely educational, not investment, legal, or tax advice. Stick with me because I'm going to show you a simple framework that turns a pension from just another income source into the backbone of your retirement plan. And I'll explain why the so-called safer lump sum can sometimes be the riskier move. Here's the key insight most people miss. A pension isn't just an investment account, it's a bond. Like a bond, it pays you a defined stream of income backed by your employer and further protected by the federal government up to certain limits. Social Security works the same way. Now, here's the big shift. If you add up the future income from your pension and Social Security and translate it into today's dollars, you may already be sitting on hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in bond-like value. But most people don't count it that way in their portfolio, and that oversight changes everything about how they invest. Let me give you a real example. A couple had a choice between a $500,000 lump sum or a $36,000 per year pension. Most people would look at that and say, I'll take the lump sum and invest it. But when we looked at their full picture, pension plus Social Security, they already had the equivalent of more than $800,000 in safe income assets. Their essential expenses were about $80,000 a year, and their guaranteed income covered $78,000. In other words, their needs were almost fully funded for life. When we ran the numbers, the pension scenario gave them a 98% chance of long-term success. The lump sum dropped that to 89%. Ironically, the safer choice was actually riskier because it broke the match between guaranteed income and guaranteed expenses. So how do you put this into practice? The first step is separating your expenses into two buckets, needs and wants. Needs are the non-negotiables like housing, utilities, groceries, insurance, and healthcare. Wants are everything that makes life enjoyable, travel, hobbies, dining out, gifts. Once that's clear, the next step is to add up your guaranteed income sources, your pension, Social Security, maybe an annuity. Think of these as the bond side of your portfolio. Then compare the two. If your guaranteed income covers 80 to 100% of your needs, you've built a rock solid foundation. That frees up your portfolio for growth. Once your essentials are secure, your IRA or 401ks can be invested more aggressively to fight inflation and fund the fun stuff. And finally, plan for timing. Maybe you retire at 60, but your pension doesn't start until 65. That's where bridge strategies come in. Roth conversions, taxable accounts, or temporary draws from your portfolio. The key is sequencing your income so the pieces fit together. Along the way, there are some critical decisions to make. One is spousal protection. If you take a single life pension, the income ends when you do, but the bills don't. A joint and survivor option can protect your spouse, even if it means a smaller monthly check. Another is inflation. Most pensions don't have cost of living adjustments, so what feels like a perfect match at 62 may fall short at 72. Balancing with equities or inflation protected securities is crucial. And then there's legacy. Pensions and Social Security usually end when both spouses pass away. If leaving money behind is a priority, a lump sum or even a partial lump sum may give you more control. I also see four big mistakes people make again and again. First, ignoring the bond value they already have. People stay conservative in their portfolio when they could afford to take more growth. Second, choosing a single life pension without protecting a spouse. Third, over engineering the bond side of their portfolio when pensions and Social Security are already the safest bonds out there. And finally, forgetting about inflation. A perfect match today can turn into a mismatch tomorrow if costs rise. So how do you decide between monthly pension payments or the lump sum? If your pension and Social Security together cover most of your essential needs, the monthly option is hard to beat. It gives you stability and peace of mind. But if your needs are already covered, or if flexibility and legacy planning matter most, the lump sum may be a better fit. And remember, it's not always an all or nothing choice. Some plans allow partial lump sums, letting you lock in guaranteed income while still keeping flexibility. If you're facing a pension decision and want to see exactly how this framework applies to you, the best next step is to schedule time with me. The link is in the description. Your pension isn't just another paycheck. It's the backbone of a smarter retirement plan. When your fixed expenses are matched with fixed income, you can invest with confidence and sleep at night knowing your foundation is secure no matter what the market does.